Time to learn something new, always honest, sometimes right. Ooh, you feel that energy rising. The truth is calling, but we'll need some analyzing. Open your mind, let's take a ride. Jaren's almost here, time to toss the lies to the side. Lights down low, crowd tuned in, truth unlocked, let the show begin. Red pill taker, no fake, no shill. Jaren's in the house, he always keeping it real. Always honest, sometimes right, he claims. He's seen the lies, he broke the chains. Now he's here to level up the game. Crypto truth, let's talk growth. Mind unlocked, yo, he does both. He's been around, he's seen it all. 10 years of flat, now he back on that ball. No more fakes, no more scams, no apps to track. Jaren's here to save the day from these lying maniacs. Oh, open up your eyes. The world ain't what it seems, no disguise. Take a step, take a breath, it's time to rise. No regrets, no regrets. Was flat, but that was whack. It was fake, out the gate, globe's a fact. So I went back, now I gotta shake the hate. Bad research, bad humans, bad intentions, filled with lies. You can tell the shape of the ground, just look up in the sky. He's a man who admits when he's wrong, when he makes a mistake. Them other little boys will never give up, since they said TFE was fake. We are waiting on the man, the myth, the legend, and host of the show. The show is about to start. 5 ever, 9 to 1, go, 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 go. The show is about to start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah. Friday night, the vibe just right. Always honest, sometimes right my plight. Weekend here, the hustle unwind. Kick back, chillax, leave the grind behind. F you to the stress, F you to the grind. F you to the worry, ease your mind. F you to the noise, F you to the hype. F you to the drain, we're living life. Unplugged from the chaos, remote control. Soul on pause, now I take the stroll. Breathing deep, city's heartbeat slow. Find my peace in the urban glow. F you to the stress, F you to the grind. F you to the worry, ease your mind. F you to the noise, F you to the hype. F you to the drain, we're living life. Honey in my tea, rhythm in my veins. We can remedy for weekday strains. Lyrics lace the night, moon spotlight. Unplugged symphony till the daylight. F you to the stress, F you to the grind. F you to the worry, ease your mind. F you to the noise, F you to the hype. F you to the drain, we're living life. F you to the stress, F you to the grind. F you to the worry, ease your mind. F you to the noise, F you to the hype. F you to the drain, we're living life. Unplugged from the chaos, remote control. Soul on pause, now I take the stroll. Breathing deep, city's heartbeat slow. Find my peace in the urban glow.
And welcome everybody to another episode of the Jeranism Show. It is time for a flat earth retraction. Yes, that's right. Sometimes in life, you're wrong. And in this case, we have to go back and kind of retrace our steps and apologize to those that we led astray and tell them to get back on the right track. And hopefully they didn't go too far down into La La Land. So today we've got Chandler Juliet. If you don't remember her, I met her. Let's bring her on first and say hello before I talk to the thumbnail for the whole time. Let's see if she's here. Chandler, are you here? Hello, how are you? I think you might be on mute still.
I'm here.
There
I'm
we
here.
go.
I figured out how to unmute myself after all the practice. How are you?
I'm doing great, except for you're not on screen. It's just me interviewing myself now. So you'll just have to deal with that. It's all right. Give me 1 second. We will fix that. It is the wrong camera side. There we go. So what's new with you? Tell us about, tell everybody who you are in case they don't know or they weren't here 2 years ago.
Well, oh yeah, that's a great point. Well, Hi, I'm Chandler Juliet. I'm an actress and I make comedy videos and sometimes music. And I'm independent, but I do still collaborate with the Babylon Bee, which is maybe how some of you know about me, how we discovered each other. Was on the Alex Stein show,
right?
And I hope you go back on his show and tell him what you right your wrong.
Oh, he already knows. He already knows. He's no longer a flat earther. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, you kind of flat pilled me, man, and I don't know if I fully accepted it, but it definitely cracked my mind open, and I made a couple skits about it because I think it's just like a fascinating topic, and I really enjoyed playing with the theory and questioning, what we believe. I think it's really healthy to do that. So I don't regret anything, but yes, I definitely appreciate you taking the time to re-educate me based on what you learn and tell. Yeah, you got it. We have a lot of catching up to do.
We do have a lot of catching up to do, and but we do want to be truthful, right? I mean, we want to. Yes, it's okay to open our minds and to venture down roads, but if we find out something is fact, then it just should be that, and we should move on. Don't you think? Or what do you think?
Of course.
Yeah.
The whole point of all of this from the beginning was truth. Right.
Exactly. Oh, that's what I thought. But I actually learned the hard way that a lot of truthers, so-called truthers, they want their truth, but not necessarily the truth. So I had to learn that the difficult way.
Makes sense.
Let me get this on screen so we can have you. Otherwise, people think that you're not here. You're not real. That's not what we want to do.
I am not an AI, I promise.
No, you're not. I can say that she is real. We both were on Alex Stein show. That was the, wasn't that the 420 episode?
Yes.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Here, we'll put you there so at least people can see you're real right now while I try and resize that. But there you go. See, she's here. Yeah, so we had some fun on that. And I don't remember so that was just him wanting me to talk to you about Flat Earth, or you were just on the same show? I can't even remember.
Yeah, I was just a guest on the show. And then it happened to be the 420 episode. And he's like, oh, we've got this flat earther coming on. And like, let's, pretend to be stoned and like, we'll like believe the flat earth. And I was like, oh, okay, for sure. But then you were showing some diagrams of the earth hurling through space. And I was like, that's true. Like, why do we see the same star? So yeah, you taught me a lot of things. And now I have a lot of reverse questions, but I want you to kind of just, maybe I'm new to this. I haven't looked through your channel since this new revelation, but what changed? Why, when did this happen? What happened? Why, undo all of this work you did? Obviously, because it's the truth, right? What you discovered and saw with your own eyes, but tell me what happened and what you discovered.
Okay. So, in order for the flat earth to be true, right? I think that I thought that the South had to be a lie. Basically, what they tell us can't be true about the South, right? Because what they say about the South is it's basically the opposite of the North. So we have if you got 47 degrees north, if you went to 47 degrees south, 6 months later, you're supposed to see a flipped image of the same sunset, just going the opposite direction. So as we kind of were looking into flat earth, I just kept finding things that seemed to point to flat earth. And so I would just dismiss everything else, right? And then it got to the point where I started saying, it's crazy to believe that you live on a spinning ball. It's just nuts. We know it's not that. And so what else could it be? And then I kind of opened my mind from there. But when people tried to come to me and give me the information that I think I could have used or needed to make a better determination about what was true, I just ignored it. And I think that that's something that, humans have a problem with, is once you believe something, especially if it's feeling good, or hey, there's people coming around saying, hey, Jaron, I love your work. You're so smart. Can I get your autograph? Something like that. It's very hard for your brain to say, uh-oh, you were wrong. and then to cut off that gravy train, if you will. So
definitely, it takes a lot of humility to admit that you're wrong about something. But I think that if you'd rather be right than happy, then you're gonna have some issues. But that's definitely really cool. So so you're telling me that you did go to the South Pole,
so I went to
and
the South.
saw the reverse sunset?
Yes. So we what happened was there was a guy named a pastor. His name's Will Duffy, and in about I want to say it's around June. What was that? I want to say it's about June of last year, maybe a little earlier, where he came out with an idea where he was going to take both globe earthers and flat earthers to Antarctica. He was going to pay for one flat earther, one globe earther, and he kind of did this little contest where he tried to have the audience pick who they wanted to go to Antarctica. And first, I don't know if you know who Dave Weiss is, Flat Earth Dave. You might have seen him before. He does a lot of interviews.
Okay, so we'll get there, but is he the one who made the app that you put me on to?
Yes. By the way, uninstall that app, delete that app as fast as possible. It's actually leaking data. So, and he won't fix it. He won't close it. So if you have people at your house who now know where you live, it's because of that app. So just, so I would get rid of it. I would delete it. So,
I blame you because
blame
you
me.
got me on that app.
Blame me. Shit, man. How many people I have, got a lot of making up to do.
Yes, you have to do a 12-step program for this.
I know.
Okay, I'll delete the app because I do enjoy it. Watching it at night, watching the videos, and being like, oh, you never know.
You never know. You never know. It's okay to flirt with the idea, but it really is a complete leap to think. Like let's say I'm going to lie to you. If I'm going to tell you a lie, I can't tell you something that's unbelievable, right? So I can't tell you, I left for Nigeria this morning and I just got back. Right, you're going to be like, where do you live? Maybe California. You're like, well, you can't go to Nigeria and get back in the same afternoon, right? So if you're going to tell somebody a lie, it has to be somewhat. So I think that the crazy thing is for us to believe they just made up the most crazy nonsense. Oh, you're on a spinning rock and it's in space and you're flying around, and like it has to. They can't just lie to us like that because we can all make observations, right? So if they tell us you live here, we can go and observe the world and say, does that match what we see? And there's only one shape that does match what we see, and that is the sphere Earth. So I'll show you a couple things about the flat Earth. So this way, if anybody ever comes to you in the future, you are equipped to tell them that they're clueless. So
I can't see anything though.
Yeah, I'm going to put it on screen. Might take 1 second. Okay. I just have to fix this.
Yeah, and I have so many questions. I mean the emergency flight landings and all of the things that I don't know if I ever changed my belief about the shape. But I definitely started to distrust NASA and I even just went on the NASA website and was like, oh, let me just poke around. The 24-hour live stream, that doesn't look real.
Right, doesn't even work.
And
24 hours.
And the image of the day, half of the images aren't even of space. It's just of the people who work there. This is Tawanda Lewis and it's I don't care who works there. I want to learn about space because I've always been fascinated about space, even as a child. So that's when I was I do think that there's a money laundering situation going on here. And I do think that there's something suspicious about this, but I never was set on this is the shape of the Earth or anything like that. But so where do you stand with all of the research that you've done over the last decade and what you've recently discovered? Do you still believe that space is sus?
Yeah, I think that I do. And again, that's for me, I might be different than everybody else. But I mean, as far as for me, there's still things that are not answered by this, but this definitively answers the shape of the Earth. Right, so it tells me that I know where the shape is now. I know what shape we're on. Now, does that mean that NASA's not lying about everything else? No, of course not. That wouldn't really tell us that. And then, as far as let's say the moon landings is something that I used to be heavily sure of that didn't happen. And then then what happened in Antarctica and the flat Earth happened, and I started to look more into it. And I realized now that I don't think that I don't want to say flat earthers. I don't think that moon hoaxers have enough evidence to say that it was fake. Now, it doesn't mean that I don't think it's fake. It doesn't even mean that I don't think that they didn't go. What it means is that I can't justify anymore that debate position of saying they didn't go, because there's really not a lot of evidence. It's just a lot of well, we don't believe it. It's personal incredulity of saying well, they went back in 50 years ago and they haven't been since. None of those things actually mean they didn't go, right? Just because somebody doesn't go back somewhere. If you went to Alaska in 1970 and then you didn't go back, somebody couldn't then use that as justification for you were never there. Well, you haven't been back. Oh yeah, but I went there the first, right? So I just have kind of reevaluated my way of looking at evidence and then deciding whether or not I would really stand behind something. Like now, I could debate that the shape of the Earth is round, but I would not debate that they went to the moon land or went to the moon, right? Because we may not have enough evidence.
So you still think the moon landing is
I
fake?
still have my doubts about it. Yes, of course, but I think that there's.
Did you see the India space landing thing?
Which one? Recently or a while back?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
How recent?
It was last year, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
and
do remember that.
It was like a graphic of it landing.
Like
on the
going
moon,
sideways,
like
coming,
cheering and crying, and then I was
so
like,
bad.
"This." Am I supposed to just trust that because a little Atari icon landed, I'm supposed to?
Yes.
But then I thought, like,
You are.
no one else, that's only the fourth country ever to have gone to the moon since 1969. And it's like, no one can say, no, you didn't. It's because it's like, yeah, no, we don't. The technology totally exists, So I just thought that was kind of silly. But again, like,
yeah, I get it.
Watching, I'm not willing to die on any hill. I just find it entertaining.
And we should be okay with that, right? They should be okay with that. My audience is kind of flipped. I went, obviously all the flat Earth audiences left. There's now like a science audience that really wants me to buy into everything. That's their religion. So it's just the two sides of the coin. Which side of the coin do you want? Now, I'll grant that one of the sides definitely cares more about evidence and research, and the other side is a little bit more whimsical. But for me, I'm the same way. As far as like the moon landing, I do say go back. Just go back, and it ends everything. And then the way I look at it too, let's say it really did happen. So that was like the greatest feat humans have ever done by far. Right? There's not even I don't even know what you would consider second. So and that was all in the generation before ours, or 60s, 70s. So I think that then the world deserves that again. So I would challenge them to go back. There's no reason why you wouldn't. Remember how everybody was together back then? It was like, they're all watching on the streets, on the big screen TVs, and it was like this humanity, bringing together of humanity. Well, they don't do anything like that anymore. So I'm just, I'm going to keep advocating that NASA, if you went, then go back again. Stop pretending. Stop saying that the money's an issue in this. It's just not. If you went back in '69, then it should be exponentially easier, in my opinion. So but I still have my questions about some things. But as far as the shape of the Earth and some of the things I used to call evidence, I don't anymore. Like what did they say? A lack of evidence isn't evidence of lack. Correct. So like when we were looking down in the south for South Pole webcam, so I could determine if there was a 24-hour sun, we couldn't find them, and so then I just jumped to the conclusion that means that it doesn't exist. Right. But it doesn't always mean that. You need to go further than that. And then so anyway, back to the story. Will Duffy. Basically put that contest out there, and then Dave Weiss is a guy who gave you the app. He's the app guy. He declined the first offer to go. So, which is crazy. It's a $35,000 trip. So when I was asked, I kind of started thinking about it. I'm like, well, I'd be able to determine if the South was a lie, right? If I go to the South and it matches everything exactly like the globe, then it's hard to say that the Earth could be flat, because where are they hiding it? If it matches observations and it matches what they say, then that would be impossible. So I was going to show you that just so you could see kind of what I saw down there that really changed my mind. And then you'll be equipped if anybody ever asks you and you say, oh, no, I kind of looked into it. I thought it was cool, but then here's why it doesn't work. Wait, so why is this side?
I still can't see anything. But are you and him still cool or no?
No, he hasn't. You know what he hasn't done? He hasn't talked to me since I got back from the trip.
Yeah, I wonder why he wouldn't want to go, It's like,
it tells you, well, and a lot of people have the feeling that maybe, why is this not working? So weird. I'm not able to add the scene. I don't know what's going on with my OBS. It's just not working. Keep trying to add.
I can watch it on the other tab, I can open up the other
let me
tab.
see if I do this instead. So can you see this if I do this? I'm just going to have to get rid of me because you can see.
I don't see you either. I just see myself and this big blank screen on Zoom.
Wait, big blank screen on Zoom.
But while you're dealing with the technical
difficulties,
there we go.
Okay, you didn't see that. That's why. Sorry, I didn't have the virtual camera on.
I can go delete the app because
I would do that, but it's leaking data, and he doesn't seem to care much. So it's up to you.
What does that mean? What is leaking data?
So if so, you know how websites have APIs where they can basically something can happen that dials in, or you can dial into a website and get some information back. For some reason, there's APIs on his clock app that you can send in certain codes and it will return information, but it gives away the information that should be hidden, right? So like your location, your password. So somebody can send a certain API request and then get back your password. Well, that's not at all how things are supposed to work. So That's crazy. All right, can you see this map here on the screen?
I can see this blue background.
So that's the map of the Earth that the flat Earth would believe in. Okay, so basically, can you see? Let me get a pen here so you can see my colors. So we'll go to yellow, and okay, so you see like here is where California would be, right? Here's Florida, and then you've got South America, Africa, okay, Asia. Here's Australia, New Zealand. So this is where I thought that we lived, right? And a difference between, sorry, I have to keep looking over here. Where's my back arrow? Oh, I forgot that this did that. I'm gonna have to fix that one day. Okay, so once you know that, and here's what I kind of figured out. Well, this is the only flat map that can ever exist because the continents have to be laid out this way, meaning that we know that the sun comes around like this, does its orbit every day, and we can actually check and see. This person says sun's above me, sun's above me, sun's above me, sun's above. So we know it goes in this order. For instance, it can't be that Africa goes after South America. No, the sun comes and hits Africa first, then South America, right? So we can't go around saying that that's not the way reality works. And then the equator is the place where the sun is above on the equinox. Okay, let me just see your eclipse. So you'd have the equator about here. Sorry, I'm having to look on a different screen and close this one. All right, so the equator is going to be a little bit inside here. Maybe let me see if we can get a good equator on there. So I'd say the equator is about a little less, maybe like in there ish. Let's see. So that looks close. It's a little bit smaller than that, or a little bigger. Okay, there we go. So if you have the equator, now we know that this is not man-made. This is something that the sun does, right? It's where the sun is above the equinox twice a year, when everybody gets 12 hours a day, 12 hours a night. And then we have, this is the Tropic of Capricorn, which is in the south, and that's the furthest south the sun goes. So again, it's not man-made. This is we can actually go and test this and determine that that's the furthest south the sun goes. And then this is the furthest north that the sun goes. So, if you're in California, for instance, you never have the sun above your head. This is a known fact. It can be, well, not directly above your head. It might be off a little bit to the, south. But you'll see here, because the path of the sun never goes north of this, it would never be above your head here in California. So that's basically what you have to have on a map. It needs to have those things to match reality. Now the question becomes, as a flat earther, they believe that the sun, let's see if we can draw a little thing here, a little sun. Okay, so they believe that the sun orbits around the Earth like this 24 hours. Okay, that's what most people in the flat Earth would believe. Now that we've gone down and verified that this isn't the case, they say they don't believe in this map, and they never believed in this map. But the problem with that is then they don't have a map anymore. So they have no map, no model, no description of the Earth, no way to describe it, no way to draw it, no way to map it. So it kind of gets futile at this point. So here's what we saw in the south that I think will kind of tell you the truth about what's going on. So if the sun were doing this, I'm going to ask you a question you should be able to get. It's pretty easy. If we, me and you went down to Punta Arenas, South America, okay, which is going to be right out here. We're going on vacation. Here we are. Okay, we're at the tip here, and we're looking to the west to watch the sunset. Okay, so me and you are standing here. We're looking west to watch the sunset. If the sun's going this way, okay, around us, which way would the sun set? If we're looking west, would it set diagonally left to right or right to left? Okay, so imagine we're looking this way. Here's me and you.
Is this under the flat Earth belief?
Yeah, this is the flat Earth.
Yeah, it would go left to right.
Left to right, correct. So in reality, the sun goes right to left in the south. Okay, which completely destroys this map. It makes it go like this. And then the sun rises here from the southeast. So what the sun is really doing is like this. Okay, now this makes no sense on this map because we know, for instance, at midnight for here, it needs to be daytime here. So the sun is here. Well, guess where I saw it at midnight here? I saw it over here. So we went to Punta Arenas, and then from there we flew to Antarctica, which is about here, and we watched the sun for 4 days just go around my head. Doesn't leave the sky, never gets night. It just circles, circles, circles. And that's the most profound thing you can imagine, because what it does is it tells you that the south is the opposite of the north, because in the north, we know that they have 6 months of day, 6 months in the summer, our summer. And then in the south, it's just the flip side. So that now the sun, and by the way, when you're in the north here, which this does map this map, or does match this map, when you're in the north, the sun always goes around you left to right. Okay, so if you're here in the north and you watch the sun, no matter which way you look, the sun's doing this. right? Which is always going to be your right, no matter if you're facing this way or this way or this way or this way. It's always moving left to right, left to right. Well, the south is the opposite. When we stood here, the sun was moving this way. So no matter what I did, you couldn't change it. It's going right to left around you. So then what you realize is that, remember I told you earlier when I said that we had to draw the Tropic of Capricorn in the south, and we said that's the furthest south. Oh, I forgot to do this. The furthest south that the sun goes. Okay, that outer line. Okay, well, we also know that, like I said, the sun is always above it during, let's say, on December 21st. So if the sun's above it on December 21st, then how could it be that we just, like I said, we see the sun going this way, but I just said that it has to stay on top of this tropic. We can check, and people who live on this tropic would all say the sun's above me, the sun's above me, the sun's above me, the sun's above me. So how could it be like this? Well, the answer is if we bring up this now. Oops, you can't see that. We're going to move this over here a little further. All right, now this is the globe. I just want to show you the difference. So when we're on the globe, and now we go down to Punta Arenas, and we are looking west, like we just were. Only remember, this is the globe now, not the flat Earth. So if we look up here to the west, like we're going to watch the sunset, and we're going to watch it on December. Let me get down a little bit lower. So we're a little more human-like. Okay, so we're down here on the beach. We're looking west. And now I'm going to change the date up here to this one. Okay, we're going to change the date to December. Okay, so here we go. The date's changing. It's there we go. So there's about 12 or so. And now I'm going to change this back, and we'll show you what happens when the sun sets. Whoops. What was that? Okay, there. Okay, so now, what does that say? 319, 419. Okay, so if we watch this, I want you to watch the sunset. This is on 12:14, 12:15. So you'll notice that the sun goes, oops, more south. And I can't see the date. There we go. So look at the sun. Oh, you can't see it on your screen. Move this down a little bit over here. Okay, now you should be able to see it. Okay, so we're looking here. We're looking southwest like this. And here's the sun going this way, right to left. So now, I mean, that's just so glaring because you're like, wait a second. So the sun's staying above that tropic, but it's going right to left. So then you kind of back out of here to see, well, how could it be staying above? Get up a little bit more. So that tropic is right up here. Get down. Okay. So there's the tropic. So you're like, well, how does the tropic go? And then you kind of look, you're like, oh, I get it now. The sun is in rotation of the Earth. See, it is above that tropic. See how the tropic is going left? See how notice the tropic is going left? Oh, you can't really see it, but it's going that way. So the tropic's going, move it a little bit there so you can see it. There you go. So see how the tropic's curving left? Well, that's where the sun is. So the sun is staying above that line. So if we bring back this map, we just have to realize that, okay, well, then what happens is this is the, move this over. So this is actually the tropic, which means if at noon, the sun is here. Sorry, for noon over here, the sun is above Australia here. Okay, but 12 midnight, we see it there. Then you're like, well, okay, that doesn't make sense. And then if it comes a little bit further over and now it's above Africa, let's say here, well, then we would see that here. So then you start to realize, oh, these places have to be on the other side of the ball. It's like the only thing that works. It's that's
so
why.
Do you believe in the traditional solar system model then too, knowing that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I used to have some questions about distances and sizes of the so-called planets or whatever, and what they're made of, and all that. And I still think I'm open to evidence as far as that goes. But I'm a little bit more in line with it since before I was like, oh, flat Earth, everything they tell us is a lie, and now I realize, it doesn't look like they lied about the shape of the Earth. They lie about everything. I'm not going to say that they don't lie about everything, but they certainly don't seem to lie about the shape of the Earth as far as this goes, because people can make observations.
Remember when you showed me that diagram of it was like the solar system going through space, and they claim that we're going through space, but nothing ever changes in the stars and stuff. So how do you remedy that?
So you're talking about the I can't remember whose name he is, Nassim Haramein or something. Let me see. I'm going to try and find it. It's a solar system. in space.
It was what you shared on the
Alex's show, right?
Alex, yeah. And then you showed it in our original live stream, which I can't wait to watch after this one.
Yeah, now you make me want to go watch it. I'm like, what did I say?
I know. I kind of want to like do like a
side by side
video and put it on my.
I'm surprised I haven't seen much of those yet. I haven't seen much people take what I've said in the past and then show me next to it saying just the complete opposite now. Although people would lose their mind about that, but people should recognize that it's okay to change your mind. You know, it's okay to change your mind, especially when you're moving towards you're talking about this one.
At the same time, like there's a lot of stuff coming out about how like these original theories, I can't quote it directly, but my husband was telling me about how all of these theories of space stuff have been disproven recently in the last year. So I think that even they are having to deal with the fact that they had these theories that are not true anymore. They don't prove true with what we're seeing. So we're in this miraculous situation, and we're going to get new data and information all the time. But people are just so quick to be like, no, it's not a miracle, it's science. And it's like, okay, well.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat that they do, because science is kind of in this unique position that they can say, well, I just believe in science, and then science is always changing, so they're always right. Yeah. You know, it's kind of like a simple, you're like, oh, wow.
It's funny how that works.
Way to go out on a limb there, guys. But you'll notice here, so this is what he's talking about. Yeah, is that, now here's the one thing. Here's the one thing I think we have to remember, though. So when a planet does one circle, that's a year. So if we're watching, say that's 1 year, you know, so when we watch the Earth go around, there's 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So, I mean, they're making it seem like we're doing this flying through space and it's we're doing this every hour. But no, each one of those circles that you see the planet, that's a year. Then there goes another year. There goes another year, right? So every time the Earth goes around the sun, it would be a year. Now, again, I'm not going to stand behind this. I'm not going to debate somebody that this is real because I don't have the evidence of that. The Earth is a sphere, and it seems that we go around the sun. But again, am I going to stand behind that and champion it? No, I think it needs more information. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing I think is most weird about that is that I used to think it meant like we were flying through space at that speed at all the time. But it's showing you how slow it would be. And as far as us seeing the same stars again and them not changing, it really comes down to the I want to say inconsequential, but we're tiny compared to everything else, right? So we're very, very small. So you would need to move a lot further to have a change in the stars because they're light years and light years away, and we're just traveling a shorter distance than that in a year. Again, you just saw us in a year. We just went around the sun, right? So that one little motion is not going to change everything in the sky, especially with the North Pole always pointed at the North Celestial Pole, which is that star Polaris. So, I mean, I myself have a lot of issues with the heliocentric model, but I do think that the Earth is a sphere, and I think that there's enough now that people should, like, I wish if I had a wish, it would be that Flat Earth just accepts that they were wrong. They can still believe in it in the back of their head or still keep looking for things, but to stop the rude, obnoxious, asshole-like behavior towards people that believe. Yeah, because that's just it's a bad look. Now they think they're so right. They're so right because they say things like, "Well, water lies level," right? So if water lies level and we've never seen water curve, then how could it curve around to become the oceans? I'm sure, I don't know if you've heard that one or people talk about that. Yeah, I have. Yeah, so I'll show you something here that I did that made me kind of figure it all out here. So I went to GeoGebra, and I know you got to stop coming up here in a little bit. But if we go to GeoGebra and then we go to open, and I should have come on. There is the Home Depot. Okay, so this is a scale model of the Earth. Okay, so what I mean by that is if I zoom out here, move this thing over. You'll notice that that black line is a giant circle, okay? So there's the sphere Earth. It's measured correctly to the exact foot. This is down to a foot. So if I zoom in here, I just want to show you of what it looks like as we get real close to the top of this ball. We're still getting closer. We're still getting closer. Can't make anything out yet. Can't make anything out yet. Okay, those are the buildings, including Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest building in the world. So you saw how much we had to zoom in to get here. Keep zooming, keep zooming, keep zooming, keep zooming, keep zooming. We keep zooming, we keep zooming. Okay, now we're down to like the size of a human. Here's a Home Depot, and there's a 6 foot tall man. Okay, so to him, as we zoom back here, all this will seem very flat. There's no way it couldn't. You're on a gigantic sphere. And as you move along the sphere, it keeps readjusting because you're actually moving on the sphere. So let me give you an example. So over here, I put what 660 feet is. Okay, it's 2 football fields. So here's 2 football fields laying on the ground. So for every 660 feet, there's only 1/8 inch of curve. So an 1/8 inch is the height of a dime or nickel, on its side, on its tummy. So we need to get over the fact that we should ever expect to see any curve. We just can't. If for every 660 feet there's only an 1/8 inch, I mean, imagine being in the ocean, looking in front of you 660 feet. Well, the waves and the undulations and all that are way more, infinitely more than an 1/8 inch. So you're just not going to see the Earth curve. Now, if we went, let's say we built something here and we want to go to the next 660 feet, so the same curve is there, is 1/8 inch. And then if we went to the next, 1/8 inch. So people expect too much curve because they all want to say, well, Jaron, if we stood here and we said, well, what does the Earth do way over here? Then you would have some sort of drop, right? The Earth would drop from that person's point of view, but that's not how life works. When we go through life, even when we build things, we never look down the road and say, well, how are we leveling up with over there? Because we don't need to do that. We level where we're at, right? So let's say we were going to build a Home Depot. We would go with our level. We'd build the foundation on the ground, and it would be level because we have our level. And then when we're done with that store, we'd go to the next one next to it, and we start all over. We use the level again. We don't actually look at the other Home Depot and say, how are we lining up with that one? Because if we did, we would notice that we're starting to dip, that it's getting lower because the Earth is curving. So I think that, it's kind of a misnomer. One of the things I used to say as a flat earther is like, no train builder, no canal builder has ever taken the curvature of Earth into account. And that's actually true because they shouldn't. Because you don't build like that. You build where you're at, level. Same thing with a bridge, right? So if you're building this Golden Gate Bridge, where's my Golden Gate Bridge in here? So that's the Golden Gate Bridge. I know you're from California. You've probably seen the Golden Gate. So, this is just the bridge that is flat. It's flat and level. Water finds its level. If you were going to build this bridge, you would just build it piece by piece by piece, which means you're never worrying about the curvature of the Earth. It's just not needed. Here's the Raiders Stadium in Vegas. This right here is the depth of the, what do they call it? The trench, Marianas Trench in the Pacific Ocean, which I think is the deepest part of Earth. And then this is the Mount Everest, which is the tallest part of Earth. And that's basically it. And then over here, you've got a plane, so people could start to see. Because another thing flat earthers said was, well, why don't planes have to nose down? Because otherwise they'll fly off into space and not stay above the Earth. But that's just not the way it works. A plane is always staying the same distance from the ground, right? So it adjusts by 1/8 inch, like we said, every 660 feet. That's unnoticeable. The pilot wouldn't notice that. Nobody would notice that. You wouldn't even need to build the plane to do it because the plane is staying the same height away from the ground. So if the ground is ever so slightly moving down, it's just going to stay with it. So people are like, why don't they nose down? Well, if you nose down, what happens to a plane? It descends. So when we fly at altitude, we're certainly never going to nose down, or else we start coming down. So you just fly at altitude, point your horizon at your artificial horizon at the horizon, and just go. So there's enough things like this that came around that just started to wake me up and go, oh man, this is not understanding what I was looking at. I think is one of the biggest things. Thinking of scale, like I'm sure you heard me say, well, do you think you're spinning 1,000 miles per hour? Right? I mean, most people would say, yeah. So most people say, no, that's crazy. It sounds crazy that we spin 1,000 miles per hour. But really, if we want to know how fast 1,000 miles per hour is on a gigantic ball, is take anything in your hand and rotate it once a day. How fast is that moving? You wouldn't even see it. It's moving. It's incredibly slow. It's only going around once a day. So now it's 1,000 miles per hour because the Earth is huge and it has 25,000 miles it's got to get around in 24 hours. But it is very slow. In fact, if we were in space right now watching the Earth, we would not see it spinning because it has to only spin once a day, right?
So have you thought about hitting up Netflix and being like, yeah, like, sorry about that?
I know. I don't even know who I would hit up there, but maybe I should hit up the Delta V Productions again and see if they want to do a part 2. They probably do.
And where is the documentary going to be available? Because I know Jonathan.
I know you know Jonathan.
We met at some premiere in LA, and then I saw that he worked with you on this, and I thought that's so cool. Like, so where is that going to become available soon? Because I would love to get the full deep dive.
Yes, it should be out, I'm guessing, in a month or so. I know he called me the other day for some part of it that he needed help with. But
so cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that you knew him. Yeah, he went. So what happened was, remember I said there was supposed to be a globe earther, and a flat earther. It ended up being 4 globe earthers, 4 flat earthers, and 1 the pastor, who was also a globe earther. So it was a good. It was. I thought that we would see either like the trip get canceled, or maybe I thought that there would be cloud cover the whole time. I really did not expect. And as the date kept getting closer and closer, I'm like, uh-oh. Like, you wouldn't think they would go through with it if it's just going to be exactly, like, if it's going to be something that they don't want me to see, well, they're not going to let me go down there. So as the trip got closer, and then I started looking into it more and started, looking into this ALE, which is the company we went and saw, or the travel company we went with. And you realize that they've done this for 20 years. And they do it numerous times throughout their summer every year. You can go down there if you want. It's like 21.
But did you see anything weird in Antarctica? Because isn't there something weird going on down there?
I didn't see anything weird. I mean, the only thing I thought in my head was that I would think it'd be incredibly easy to build underground there, because they say it's just ice, and I'm guessing that you could melt ice easier than you can burrow through dirt and rock.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point. Yeah,
I would think that they say like where we were was like a mile high of ice, that's huge. That's 5,280 feet of just stacked ice year after year after year after year after year, because it never gets below 32 degrees there, so nothing ever doesn't freeze. So I would say that's the only thing that I saw that was weird. Everything else was very, very normal. Like the people that we met there, the people who work there, the camp that we went to. I'll show you some quick videos there, but it was just awesome. And then to see the sun just circle your head is something. I mean, how many people get to see that?
And good on you for just being willing to admit that you're wrong, and for being willing to face the truth head on. Your other friend wasn't willing to do that, and here you are, progressing and evolving.
Well, thank you. I didn't know that you've actually been studying this now that you said that. So you've actually looked into it a little bit. Thank you for doing that, by the way.
Of course. I mean, I found it really interesting. I know some people thought I was crazy, but actually I went to this event, and I remember I actually just thought of it right now as you were talking about the plane and how it needs to, but also just some people in the airplane, they go, oh, I don't see any curvature. It's like, because it's still you're not high enough. Like, it's just it's just so much more massive than you can imagine. But I did meet a pilot, and he was like smiling ear to ear. And I was like, oh, you're a pilot. Can I ask you something? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, what is the shape of the earth? And he was like, it's round. I was like, okay. Darn it. And then he was like, you're crazy. And what's sad is like, he knew who I was too. He knew who I was. So I was like, damn, I got to watch it. Cause I know that I have like in some spaces and circles, like, a reputation, but I was like, you know what? I'm trying to learn, you can't blame me for trying to
no, I think it's more of a sign of a good person or a open mind. Like if back then, let's say back then on Alex's show, you just told me you're a fucking idiot for thinking the Earth's flat and you're stupid and if you would have said that though, versus now, it's like, think of the difference I would feel about you. The fact that you were open to it and said, oh man, talk to me about it is so much of a different story, because then I'm able to get my point across, tell you about it. You're able to look into it. And then when I realize I'm wrong, I had to go running back to you and say, hey, by the way, you might want to know that I no longer believe that. But
and I do appreciate you updating me on that, because I still do check that stupid app from time to time. Not that it's stupid, but that it's the fact that it's leaking my data. I do not like that, so I'm going to do that as soon as I hop off here, which I do have to do. Yes. But thank you very much for having me on your show and for teaching me a few things. I will keep an eye out for your documentary. If I can do a small plug here, I have a song coming out at the end of this month, July 28th.
Okay.
I hope you guys check it out and check out my channel.
It'll be on your YouTube channel?
It'll be everywhere, like Spotify, Apple Music, and yes, my YouTube channel and Instagram and all that.
If you haven't seen her stuff, she does some great stuff. There's some COVID stuff that she did. It was hilarious. Some videos that got over millions of views.
And they should check out the Flat Earth video I did too. Like, I really wasn't trying to roast Flat Earthers. I was trying to honor the lore, actually.
Yeah, it was kind of half and half. Some people liked it, some people hated it.
Well, that's, and I think that, after I came on your show, I learned a lot about like the dogma of the Flat Earth belief system. And I really thought it was hilarious. And I did just verbatim what you taught me and was just very committed to the bit. And I didn't say like, they're so stupid. I just said like, this is what Flat Earthers believe, like POV, your friend is a Flat Earther.
Right.
And so many people were like, yeah, they're so dumb. But then a lot of other people were like, yeah, like you're speaking the truth. And I was like, cool. Like that is what my goal is as a comedian, is to just like walk the line and reveal the truth of how it really is, like how people, how stark people are in their beliefs, how strong people are in their beliefs. So
that's good. I'm glad that you get to look at this from that kind of perspective and kind of look at the people involved, because it really is a story of people and how you can get mixed up in a belief that's not really, but it doesn't mean, because I certainly would never tell everybody stop looking into things, right? That's the opposite of what I want to say. I want to say, look into things. And then when you find something that's the truth, like I'm excited because I said 10 years ago, I wanted to find the shape of the earth, and now I found it. Now, did it take me longer than I wanted to? Did I, venture in places I kind of wish I wouldn't have at this point? Sure. But at the same time, I got to go to Antarctica. We found it. There was no trickery. You'll hear, if you look online, you'll find all kinds of stories about we faked it. We were in a studio. We were in an Amazon studio, just because people can't admit they were wrong. And that's a bad thing.
Dissonance Absolutely. So hard. But
well, I appreciate you being here. And if people want to check your channel, for sure, I put both the links to your Instagram, which is Chandler J Official or Chandler Juliet. And then the YouTube channel is there also in the description. But I appreciate you coming on. Maybe I'll have Alex see if he wants to bring us both back on so that we can publicly say that.
That would be great.
Yeah,
I would love to.
I'll reach out to him.
And thank you for sharing the update and for keeping me posted. You know, you reached out and you're like, just so you know, like I really do appreciate that, because now I'm going to prevent myself from getting,
good. I have
my identity stolen. So thanks for that.
I get to shed a little bit from my karmic soul, which is pretty heavy. So. All right.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Have a good rest of your night, and I'll keep an eye out for your documentary.
You too. Later. Thanks.
Okay. Bye.
Later. All right, that was Chandler Juliet. Hopefully you guys enjoyed her. But yeah, she was on before, and I told her that the earth was flat and tried to convince her that the earth was flat. And then the other day I was going through Instagram messages, and I saw her down there, and I'm like, oh shit. I tried telling that girl the earth's flat. I hope she doesn't believe it's a flat earth. So I reached out, and she goes, no, I'm still looking into it, though. I'm like, no, let's squash that. Don't look into it anymore. So we do have a double header coming up. I think we're going to start at 7. Well, I could probably be ready by 6. But I'm going to say 7, since I'm going to go do a little bit of swimming. But at 7 o'clock, we've got the debut episode of Fact Down. Is that what we're going to call it? I think so. Been back and forth, really struggling. But I'm going to put a poll in the audience. You guys are going to choose the name of the show. It is the trivia show. It is going to be Thursdays, and you can win cash and prizes. And then we're going to kind of have like a tournament, or not a tournament, but everybody who wins each week is going to get moved into a bracket kind of a playoff situation, that down the road we will eventually have all the winners go up against each other, and there'll be an ultimate winner coming up in a year or so. But to get started, we're going to have 33 questions, just because it's a conspiracy number. I think it's funny. 33 questions tonight. That starts, the show's going to start at 7, but the trivia will start at 7:30. So I'll just talk and kind of keep it light and tell everybody how it works. By the way, I did go through last week. Oh, let me show you. Let me show you something, just so that this is on the record, because everybody asked, what is this again? I can't remember the name of it. Live. Yeah, there it is. Everybody was asking, some people felt that maybe the answers weren't getting registered correctly, and I want to show you why that might be. Also, if you're playing, what you want to do is you want to refresh often, because if you fall behind, you're going to be answering late, and then what happens is you're answering late, you're answering into the next question's time period, and you're not getting picked up in the right time. Also, I talked to the company, and they told me to make sure that I'm running, what's it called? The lowest latency possible, which I'm not usually doing. I usually don't do that, because really you have to choose between latency or quality. So I usually go for quality, meaning that if my delay is 30 seconds, it's not a big deal. But in this case, I want to do the shortest delay possible to make sure people's answers get put into the right question. Let me show you this. Hopefully I can... Oh, we're back in. Okay, I'm just going to show you this. Bring this up, just so you can see what kind of... Oh, the one... I still do have a question about that, though. I still don't know if people should be able to see the scores throughout the game or just wait till the end. Something I still have not decided yet 100%. So over here we've got... Link for, where's it at? Where's the, hold on 1 second. Link for players. Nope. Automatically stop. Nope. Nope. Game appearance config question. This one, I think. Okay. Is it here? Where is that at? Hold on. There's a way to bring up all the questions. Oh, I remember he said it was in analytics somewhere. Where was that at? Where would I see that? There was some analytics. 1 second. I'm trying to find where the analytics is. Where did he tell me to find that? So over here somewhere it says link to web page. Link to play on web page. Oh, is it because it's not done? Hold on, it might be that's why. Oh, that's right, because this is waiting to play, so it's not, there's no, can I go back in time? Oh, I remember he said go to the broadcast. Now I get it. There we go, there they are. So let's go to the most recent one, which was May the 28th. So I'm going to click on this one, and then there should be a button that says something about analytics. Where did I see that? Where is the analytics? Oh man, I don't remember where he told me to go. Questions config game appearance. Broadcasts. Open in YouTube completed. Trivia. Oh, here we go. Trivia winners and analytics. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Okay, so this is crazy how much goes into this. Let's put this over here. What? I said move. Okay, let's bring that up for you to watch. Just so you can see what we're looking at here. Go to Google Earth. No. Go to left screen. That'll work. All right, so just to show you how intricate this thing is. By the way, I use. You can. I don't think I put the link in the description. I'll put it on the trivia show. What this program is. Okay, so we're looking at. Hold on, I'm going to move this so you can get the whole screen. So this is the trivia game and analytics for the one that we did, I think, or whatever it was, 2 weeks ago or so. So you'll notice here, public leaderboard. This is showing you the player list, but watch how you can go to each question. Okay, so this shows you the question 1. How many got the correct answer? How many participants were there? What was the accuracy percent? What was the average response time? So we get to see all that. We can actually dig into it. So if we go to question by question details here, I can actually go to each question. So question 1, I can open that up and it tells me what the correct answer was. So then from there, let's see, where's the question? Does it say the question? I don't see the question, but it should be somewhere in there. But question 1, the answers were middle of the Indian Ocean, IKEA parking lot, China, or Australia. You'll notice middle of the Indian Ocean is correct with 11 total responses. Now I can actually open that up, I believe. Yep, and see the people who answered it. And so I was trying to figure out if I could find out why some people's answers are not showing up. And I noticed that this response time, that people were falling outside of that response time in the next question. So then I kind of realized, oh, so people are getting to the show, they're watching question 1, they're answering question 1, but we're already on to question 2. So their answers are actually showing up in question 2. So you really have to make sure you refresh because you have to be in sync with us. You'll notice here, what is that? Sudan had a correct answer, just one person, shows their response time. By the way, it also does keep track of your response time. So if you'll notice, if we go to question 1 here, notice that it's in order of response time. So it actually calculates the exact response time and you actually get more points if you see the score. So this is the score that it's keeping for you and you actually get rewarded more for being earlier in the response time. So anyway, just pointing out that King of Flare 5, is that part of the deal? Dick Wayne, nobody cares about you, dude. Nobody cares. Look at you here again on my show. Look at you here again. Being a puss, being a wimp, being a crybaby. Like, who cares about my belief? Why not just go play Flatlandia, which is this board game where you basically leak your data through some app. It's fun. It's fun. I'm sure this dude lost all his followers. I did. But that's the way things go. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? It just shows me that nobody who's in the truth movement is looking for the truth. That's what it shows me. The truth movement is quite the opposite of that. So I'm glad that happened, though, because otherwise I would be sad. I'd be sad if I got kicked out of the truth movement and there was so much truth in there and everybody was very diligent and they were good researchers. No, the opposite is true. I look back now and see that they're the worst researchers I've ever seen. I mean, all you need to do is have, and I don't even know if this guy's kidding or where he got this from, but watch this. This is hilarious. I just saw this today. I'm like, is he kidding? What the hell kind of question is that? Watch Dave Weiss here. Mr. Genius is talking about the sun and moon. Listen.
Forward. There we go. So now we have the day moon. You know, the moon shows up at night, and sometimes it shows up during the day.
Correct, because it has a 50-minute longer orbit time on the flat Earth, so it would do that. And on the globe Earth, it's obviously going the other direction.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
How come the sun never shows up at night?
Excuse me? Excuse me? What do you say? Why doesn't the sun show up at night? How would the sun... Never mind. It's a very normal question, Dave. Very, very astute. Very astute. So anyway, I just wanted to point out that I do think that the system keeps the correct score. Okay? So I'm not going to change any way that we're doing any of these things. I will change the... What is it called? The latency to extremely low, so we'll be as quick to real time as we can so that we try and get everybody captured in the same time. I'm going to do a poll real quick, and you guys got to help me pick the name of the show because I go back and forth. Start a poll. Yes. So, what should we name the trivia show? Okay, I'm going to give you some. So the first one is, this is the one my wife likes. Trying to remember it exactly. Okay, that's one. England is my Liddy, said Jaron. In one of the Hibbler documentaries, they ask questions like, why do compasses point north? Oh boy. That's good, though. That's good stuff. Why doesn't the sun come out at night? What? Okay. Let me see here. Okay, those are two. I'm going to add another one because I've got another idea that we had. Okay, is that all my options? Let me think of what else I had. Okay, I think I'm just going to go with those three. Everybody vote. Which one do you... Oops, I put add option. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, no. I'm going to put none of the above because I already exited. And it's not letting me get out of there. Okay, none of the above. Start poll. All right, so your options are... The first one was flattest. Okay, I like that. It's flat test. I'm sorry, that's not right. That's not right. I'm ending that poll. That's correct. Incorrect. Not flat. I've got my mind on flat Earth, not my stupid thing. Hold on. Ending poll. That's wrong. That's wrong. Don't answer that one. It's not correct. Start a poll. Okay, what should we name the trivia show? That was not correct. The first one is factist, not flattest. What should we name the trivia show? So I like it because it's like, who is the factist? It's not a word that exists, but it is new. What should we name the trivia show? So it would be, welcome everybody to Factist, right? Who's the factist? That kind of thing. So that's the first one. Factest, Factist. Then we've got the second one is going to be Thursday night. Instead of SmackDown, it's Factdown. So Thursday night, you got to lay the fact down on your candy ass. Okay, something like that. Thursday night fact down. The third option is a play on conspiracy. We're going to go with Quizpiracy. Could be Conspiracy Theory. Could be Quizpiracy, the Conspiracy Show. Who knows, something like that. And I don't think I have a fourth option. I'm going to put none of the above and see how the test goes here, or see how the poll goes. Now we've got it right, though. It's Factist. Go start poll. All right, let's see how that one does. It is correct. You can go ahead and answer that one. So pretty incredible, though, what you can actually look into. You can look at who got the incorrect answers. But I did notice that sometimes it would be people answering the question before. You can type it in. Oh, that's another thing that sometimes the system. Well, no, that was with Facebook, he said. Sometimes the Facebook system, I guess, thinks something is a spam comment, so it doesn't count it. And the guy said it's better to get into the habit of typing in the answer than it is the number. But I get it that you want to be quicker than typing in the answer. So anyway, you can just see we can go to each of these questions. Pretty cool. Shows you which one got it, how many people. I wonder why people answered. See, this is the one, like this one's your mom's imagination, which is not obviously the answer. But the fact that 3 people got it and they all answered, then I think that it's because they were answering the one before it. So this one, the answer is 1 or no? No, not that one. So anyway, I do think it's okay though. Let's go look at the poll. Come on, Jaron. I'm sorry, I'll read the chat now. If anybody's got anything you want to ask me now while I'm looking. In one of the Hitler documentaries, why do compasses point north? I don't know. In my lady, truth is compasses point south. Yeah, it gets a little confusing. The North Pole would be the south end of a magnet. Wow, censoring. I didn't censor him. The sun does come out at night. It's called dawn. Wow. Does Jaron believe in the Big Bang? No. I don't even know what you mean by believe in. But do I believe in the Big Bang? Why would believing in the Earth being a ball make you go to the Big Bang? I do not, though. Well, I mean, it's like, it doesn't really matter. Jur party? I thought about that. I didn't really feel it. Wasn't feeling it. Mark Connor, do you ever acknowledge when someone responds to you? Do you guys believe you know what the sun is? It doesn't matter what the sun is. I've said that a million times. Sean Patrick says, I like Chandler. She's cool. Flatulence? That's not a good one. Come on. Bernie Testes? That's your name, or did you type something? That's weird. I'm more factor. Yes, that's a good one. You're getting it. See? I'm the factist. You want to be the factist is what you want, though. Apparently, he is stuck on repeat. I don't know who that is, me. I am the Craig. Not to be confused with fascist. No, not fascist. Queerspiracy, right. And I even think that saying quizspiracy sounds gay. And if you say quizspiracy theory, there's no way to say it not sound gay. Just, you have to immediately grab the nearest dick and suck it. I don't know why that's the rule. I don't make the rules here, guys. Okay, I just report them. This is the last I watched. Dude can hold his own. If he was me and my belief, I don't show my face. Stay off meth. What? This is the last I watched. Dude can hold his own. If this was me and my belief. So what everybody's saying is, once you believe something, if you change your belief, run away and never face the world. What a fucking pussy. All you are. I mean, you are the problem with the world. Good for nothing. Low down. Fags. Sorry. Just what I see. See here where we're at now. We already got there. It's okay. I read that one. You think I should stay off meth? Okay. I take anybody's. If you have an opinion, I mean, go ahead and give it to me. But I don't think that's the right one. I don't see any problem with it. We've got. Megan says, all right, guys, I got to go. I may not make it to the later show. I got batting practice. Don't know what to think about that one. But, Megs, you want to be here for the trivia. I think you want to be here. Oh, my God, these guys. I voted Quizspiracy, says Rebel Raider. Who else we got here? I'm going to look at the score in a second. Are we getting anywhere? Jur Party, I saw that one. I'm not a big fan. There is not one shred of evidence that shows the Earth is round. Oh, my goodness. Wow. There is 1,000 reasons the Earth is round. So how about that? It's just the South is not a lie. Once you have that, guess what? Get over it. You're wrong. You're wrong. Get over it. Drop it. Move on. Stop being crying little bitches who act like you've never been wrong in your life and only you can figure out the shape of the Earth when people 1,000 years ago knew the shape of the Earth without the help of everyone else telling them. So... not one shred of evidence, the guy says. There's not one shred of evidence. Just, GPS, South Celestial Pole, South Magnetic Pole. How about the backwards moving sun, the backwards moving Earth, the backward moving moon, the upside down sun and moon in the south? How about the lines of longitude or degree of longitude being 40 miles in the globe Earth, but 140 miles in the. You could go on and on. I could sit here all day and repeat one after another clear evidences of a sphere. Every single prediction made by the sphere comes true when it comes to sunrise, sunset, angles, times. The flat Earth can't predict one. Everybody you know lives somewhere that's mapped on the globe. If you call them and say, hey, can you go observe if what you see matches the globe model? When they tell you it does, and you're too stupid to realize what that means, don't come crying to me. Okay? Everywhere, anybody that you know lives somewhere mapped on a sphere. Okay? So all you have to do to disprove that, which should be easy, is find the one person that lives somewhere that doesn't match the sphere model. And then we can start to build, well, what is the Earth for real? Because it can't be a sphere because we're finding people that their observations don't match. Instead, what you find is every single observation matches every single time. Okay? And then you got people like Steve Falconer who are just, this is why you can't be a flat earther anymore. You shouldn't be a flat earther because this is the kind of shit that passes. And talk about knowing what to... I just got to show you this. Wait, I don't think I'm going to get this right. I don't think that's the way you spell it. Is it? Yeah. What? So Spacebusters came out. I'm going to show you this. Spacebusters came out with his most recent episode. But this just shows you that these guys don't care. If you think these guys care about the truth, you got another thing coming. They do not. How do I know that? Well, because when you go and tell them something that they're saying is wrong and what the truth is, they don't care. Okay, so you'll notice the newest one is Scam Arctica 3, Fantasy Island.
Mile 166, there.
Now, and here, let me look at my comment if it's still here. Oh, it is, good. My first comment, very important here. I said, let me spread this out a little. Gotta love to spread it out. Stretch it. Okay. I said, oh dear, Steve is dumber than I thought. He still doesn't understand the globe. I'm done 5 minutes in. Total fail, which is expected. Delete this comment, Steve, Mr. Bravery. What a sad situation. If I want you to hear what he says and how this is when you don't understand the globe. So why are we letting people that don't understand the globe come here and make claims against it like this one, which is just insanity?
Running from Lake Erie to the Hudson River, we can see the surveyor's elevation of the water's surface and length of each level or distance in miles between each lock on the Erie Canal, as well as the altitude of each level above the tide water at Albany. We're interested in two places here. Lockport Lock is at mile 321, there, and Rochester Lock is at mile 259, there. 321 minus 250.
I want to go back to this real quick. I just want to show you something. If we grab this, control. Windows minus. New. Okay, just grabbing that picture real quick. Now you go ahead and continue. Just want you to see how I don't know what you want to call it, intellectually bankrupt these people are, or I don't know what you want to call it. But again, you'll notice I never did a video like this in my career on YouTube. That then was so wrong, and somebody pointed out to me, and I'm like, screw it, I'm doing Scam Arctica 4 next week. I'm never going to correct anything I said. I'll just keep making more episodes because I don't care about the truth. I care about lying to people.
Lock is at mile 321, there, and Rochester Lock is at mile 259, there. 321 minus 259 makes that stretch 62 miles long. But Lockport's elevation above tidewater at Albany is 512 feet there, and Rochester's is only 509 feet.
Wait, so one side is 512 feet, the other side is 509 feet. So right away, we know something, that the water is going to be going this direction to the right because it can't go to the left. It can't flow from 509 to 513. So it's going to go downhill. That's what they do. And so what's the problem with this? I don't get it.
There, showing the water down that whole 62-mile stretch only descends...
Look at his stupid little laugh. And look at it means that the water for the whole 62-mile stretch, it's so dumb because he doesn't realize that he's retarded.
It's 3 feet from Lockport to Rochester.
Right.
If the Earth were a globe 24,901 miles in circumference and proper allowance made for curvature, there would be a divergency from either end to end of each other of 2,562 feet 8 inches.
The guy doesn't understand what sea level is. So this is the kind of people that we're dealing with. He doesn't understand what sea level means. Do you get that? If he understood what sea level means, then he would understand that sea level is not a horizontal line. It's not a horizontal line from the one river to the other river. That's not how it works. The earth is a ball. It's curved. So everywhere on that level surface is level. Let me show an example here if I can see if I can make this make any more sense to you. So he showed that one line and he said, hey, this line only deviates by 4 feet. So I just did this just to show you. Oh, what? Son of a buck. Hold on, I just took it off what I just did. Okay, so that line is only supposed to, what do you say? It diverges 4 feet. And he's like, oh, it should drop 2,000 feet on both sides. Okay, let's grab this. And now will this work? Okay. So I'm just going to move this over here so you can see. This is what that actually looks like. That's all. That's all. And guess what? If right here is 1 foot above right here, that's not a problem. That's sea level. He's saying, well, the earth is a ball, so if we take this distance, then we know how much it must divert. Yeah, but we're not standing here and measuring how far it fell over here. That's what that curvature rate is. You're not doing that. The water lies level everywhere along the surface of the earth. So if you're talking about a canal and you say, oh, over here it's 512 feet and over here it's 509. Yes, so I can guarantee you it flows from 512 to 509. 509 being lower than 512. Do you understand? What kind of divergence are you looking for? So you think because this is on a sphere surface that you can then do the curvature math for, again, that's not telling you anything other than what the tangent line is doing. The tangent and how far off the earth falls from the tangent, but that's not needed to build a canal. So this is the problem, is that I didn't even want to listen to this guy's video anymore. He doesn't understand the globe.
Or rather, the apex of the arc of that 62 miles would have to be 1/4 of that divergency.
That would be impossible. People would think that that's impossible that the world would work that way. So I don't understand where you do understand how gravity pulls things to the center of the earth, right? So we all have the same down. We all have the same down in the same direction, pointed to the center of the earth. So no matter where you're at along the peripherals, you have a flat level ledge or edge that is your horizon, if you will. But it's level. I don't understand why this is... I thought that as flat earthers, we at least recognized that. I didn't know we were still making that. Well, I knew Nathan Oakley, because he's obviously a scammer. He's going to make arguments that are garbage the whole time. But I didn't think anybody else was still making a garbage argument. Why doesn't anybody help this guy? Flat earthers, if you're watching this, why don't you understand that you have to be able to say, hey, that's wrong. Hey, Dave Weiss, that's not in Mars. Hey, Steve Falconer, you don't understand the globe. If you're going to argue against it, you have to understand it. Now, I know why you're all afraid to understand it. It's because look what happened to Jaron. He started looking into it too much. He understood it, and then he flipped. So you don't want to flip because you're not truthers. See the difference? Quite a vast difference between you and I. But this video is just terrible. I didn't watch any more beyond him clearly showing he doesn't understand the globe. He doesn't understand the globe. He said something about here and here being... Okay, so does he understand, though, that let's say that we are on a globe, okay? And you're like, well, what's the curvature, Jaron, for 12,000 miles? Be like, well, that's kind of hard to tell on a globe because basically you're talking about being completely upside down by then, right? So let's say that that is the case. But do you realize that the water at the North Pole is the same sea level as the water at the South Pole? So do you see the problem with what he's doing? It'd be like me saying, oh, wait, if there's a North Pole and a South Pole, then there has to be a divergence of 3,959 miles, which is the radius of the Earth. Let me show it like this so it makes a little more sense. So what I'm saying is, if we took a sphere like this of the Earth, okay, and we say, how much curvature would there be, Jaron, between this guy and this guy down here? Well, that makes it very difficult to even talk about, because if we run a tangent from here off this direction, then we know that the Earth falls here at the rate of 3959, right? This is the same exact thing as the radius. But the problem with this is, of course, well, then how do we get back under ourselves? Well, we could say that then it falls another 3959, right? Because then you could do the, like this way. Sorry, my bad drawing. This way. So basically what we can figure out from just this drawing that I just did is that the amount of curve on a sphere is really equal to its diameter. Okay? Meaning that if you were to ask me, okay, well, Jaron, what is the curvature of this entire circle? Well, let me explain. If we're at the North Pole and we got to go to the South Pole, how high do we have to climb? We know that this distance is what? 8,000 or 7,957 or something. But let's just say 8,000 miles. Okay, so that is our diameter. Now, if we were going to walk from here to here, we can't go through the Earth, so why not? Well, because there's an Earth in the way, so we have to go around it this way, right? So what is the amount of curve? If it's not 8,000, well, it's the radius, right? Because you have to climb 3959 in order to get over the hump to get back down. So the curvature is 3959, and then if you want to do the whole circle, well, again, you're going back up this way, 3959. Okay, which means that the entire circle is the equivalent of the diameter. Okay, so once you have that, we have a little bit something going here. We're like, okay, we get it now. Keep going back. Okay, so once you have that down, now does it make sense that if we said, well, we're moving from here to here, but that distance on the globe is 12,500, right? So what Steve Falconer is saying is that then it's 12,500, which we could do the 8 inches per mile squared, I guess, if you wanted to figure out what he's doing. But it's not going to come out right, because if we did 8 inches per mile squared times the 12,500 equals times 12,500 equals divided by 12 equals divided by 5280 equals. Okay, so that says that there's 19,728 miles. Wait, or is that feet? 19,000 feet of curvature divided by 5280 equals. Okay, so get out of there. So what he's saying is that he's taking this section here, let's say New York or that canal, whatever it was, and he's there's a line that is curved there, right? And they're saying, well, the sea level here is 509 and the sea level here is 513 or whatever it is, one way or the other. But do you recognize that that's not a problem? That's saying that this is 4 feet lower than this when taken into account with the sea level. So who knows what Steve's talking about when he's like, there must be a 2,000. So he's saying, again, that if we're talking about this area here and somebody says, hey, from the North Pole to the South Pole, how come this is 0 feet and this is 0 feet sea level? How does that make any sense? And then Steve Falconer came along and he said, well, it's impossible. It can't have both 0 feet at sea level because this is 12,500 miles around here. So if there's 12,500 miles around here, then there must be a drop on either side of this hump of 3959 miles. Well, what do you mean? Drop from what, Steve? Drop from where? Are you talking about from sea level? From sea level, the entire Earth would be 1 sea level, right? So if this is 0 sea level, well, then this is 0 sea level, and this is 0 sea level, and this is 0 sea level, and this is 0 sea level. So you can see why the North Pole and the South Pole both are 0. Pretty simple. But if you're saying, well, this is 3959 miles from the center of the Earth, and therefore a river, let's pretend that we had a river or a canal, whatever you want to call it, that went from the North Pole to the South Pole. Here's our canal. So what Steve is saying is that even though this is all level, that no, you must be able to measure from here to here a drop of 3959. What are you talking about, Steve? A drop from what? From your tangent? What kind of drop are you talking about? The sea level is the sphere of the Earth. So I don't even get where he's confused. other than he's very.
Meaning 640 feet of fall.
Wrong.
In both directions.
Wrong.
From the 31-mile midpoint between them to either side.
Wrong.
640 feet that way and 640 feet that way.
Wrong.
Or rather, if we lived on a globe, they would have had to have dug down 640 feet deep at the 31-mile middle point of these two locks and then dig level from each end to meet.
I mean, this is so dumb. It's so dumb. It's worse than most flat earthers. And I thought Steve had a point. I thought Steve was smart. He doesn't get it. Doesn't get it. Think of how off this is. That if this is the globe, then this is all sea level. Meaning, Jaron, are you saying this could be 509 here and so could this? Yes. If that's what it is. If this is the top of some, like the, Great Lakes. I mean, it's easier to think of water being at zero. But yeah, could water be up on the hills or up higher? Yes, we know that. But still, to go from the beginning to the end is if it's all one sea level, it's talking about the distance from the datum or from the distance from the center of the earth. So this is just clearly being clueless.
It in the middle in order to make this canal nearly level. But they didn't do that. And yet there are only 3 feet difference in elevation.
Right. 3 feet difference in elevation. Elevation comes from what? Sea level. Level is what? The curved earth. Therefore, at one point of the curve, it's going to be 3 foot higher than another point of the curve. That's it. That's all.
As I'll show you why. The next longest level on the Erie Canal is between Syracuse and York Mills.
Okay, the next longest level is the ocean. What are you talking about? I know what you mean, the next longest level. I mean, everything on the ground would be level if there's no mountains or valleys. It's crazy. Crazy. So anyway, we're not going to watch this, but go down here, and I'm the only comment nobody else even comments. Steve, thank you so much for this detailed video. You're so good. You're so awesome. Everything you say is so right. And here's another thing for Steve. I'll challenge him again. He won't do it. Here's a 3 hour and 32-minute video. Here's my prediction. His viewer retention time on this video is around 4 minutes. Okay? It's that bad. He has terrible viewer retention time. How do I know? Because I know flat earthers now. They do not watch videos that are filled with information. It's not what they want. They want TikTok. They want quick information. They want quick memes. They want to make fun of people. They want to joke around. They don't want to actually research and do this. Okay? So what Steve does takes advantage of the situation and knows that if he just makes a video called Scamartica, he can say anything and get views and people won't even care. They'll all say you did great. Because flat earthers do not care about the truth. Let me make it clear. Flat earthers care nothing about the truth. Zero.
Syracuse is at mile 166 there, and York Mills at mile 113.
I mean, look at these people. Talk about blower. Thanks, Steve. Great video. Your attention to the details is most appreciated. Could he take a time to figure out how the globe works or no? Just wondering. Love your work you put into this. Flat Earth for a couple of years now. Right. Love your work that you don't understand the globe and teach us all that it's false. Water is always flat. No, wrong. Water is always level. Wake up. I'd love to show this at my kid's school. Epic. Do not show this at your kid's school. Knock it off. How did we get into this saying, we all got into this saying, look at what they're doing to our children. They're indoctrinating our children. They're lying to them. And we all got real upset and we became flat earthers. Well, now realize that it's you that's lying to your children. It's not the globe earthers. Amazing information. The Scamartica isn't just a film. It's a lesson, a teaching, a learning experience, and paradigms were triggered. I have learned and am wiser for watching. We'll watch them again. Many thanks, Space Busters and Antarctica Busters. Wow, we are in trouble. Fantasy Island, I love it. My business partner of 15 years is an engineer who does contracts, blah, blah, blah. Don't know what that... What's a whistleblower? Come on, now you're lying about whistleblowers too? What does it say? I'll leave a vote here. Does anyone want me to release the full 1 hour, 15 minute or so chat Dave and I had with our Tigo whistleblower? Yeah, right. I only asked because it's a shit ton of time and work to chop up and hide their voice every time they speak. No, it's not. And I have to omit certain things that could give the person's identity away. There is some interesting things in there about what is going on there, especially those who remember the 2008 crash of platinum that never recovered, which this person claims directly related to the activities at Tygo. If enough people want it, just like this comment, and I'll take the time. Sure, whatever you say. He puts together a 3.5 hour video, but he's like, oh, I got to edit out this guy's voice out of an hour-long video? That's too difficult for me. Downloaded and converted to MP3. I have a listen to this when I'm driving. Tons of info. I love it. It would take a rock star to figure this all out. Right? This person just gave up. They probably have a 2-second retention time. Austin, Steve, love the detailed mapping, charting, and sailing info. Very good info for all to consider. Wow, I've been waiting and watching for part 3. The first 2 were awesome, even though they were completely wrong and proved the globe. Thanks for all you do, Spacebusters. This is just disgusting to me. This is why I have no bad feelings about being out of the flat earth. I don't look back with nostalgia. I don't remember like, oh my God, I miss those guys. Not anymore. Not when I see what kind of people they are from the outside looking in. This is disgusting. The guy made an incorrect video with incorrect information. That's not how the globe works. For the 3rd time, he's going to again talk about all the bases and what time they see the 24 hours of the sun, again disproving flat earth. And he'll get commended by all the flat earth people. They'll all show up to say what a great job he did. Thank you for exposing this fantasy. No, his belief in how the globe earth works is a fantasy. Wow, this is impeccable. Do you know what impeccable fucking means? This was the opposite of impeccable. It's fucking garbage. Impeccable. Funny, logical, constructive, capturing, and humble all in one. Yeah, real humble to keep coming out with videos after you've been shown 3 times in a row how wrong you are, how dumb you are, and how you can't understand the globe. And yet you're going around calling yourself Spacebusters. Could be called brainless. That's what you should be called. Before GPS, most ship captains had their own maps and notes on where places actually were compared to those maps. Right, nowadays we just lie and people in boats, they just stumble around, they don't get anywhere. That's why all captains were very protective of their route, logbooks, and relied on them more than newer maps or globes to get to their destinations. Maps can be wrong, but a captain's logbook is the best thing to use for navigation. I don't know what that means. Great work, Steve. You smashed it. Guaranteed watch for 3 minutes. TFE, the final edit. DJ New Moon, garbage. Notice how quiet the final experiment people have become more the time passes. No, you guys just block everybody and are garbage humans. Sorry, a bit different. TFE was a telegraphed hit piece. No, it's called The Truth, dipshit. Again, example here, not a truther. Okay, don't let anybody ever tell you they're a truther when they legitimately take the truth, step on it, squash it, lie about it, and throw it away. Those aren't truthers. They are religious tards, if anything. Bravo, very well done. And we'll share with others. Thank you, Vancouver, Canada. Thank you. Helpful to share with friends and who are actually asking me these questions. Right, so give them the wrong information. That's going to help them get out of flat earth. Good one. You're smashing this stuff, Steve. If you're talking about smashing the truth with lies, you're right. This is a tremendous piece of work. No, it's not. It's garbage. I've been in the flat earth camp since around about 2015. There was plenty of evidence even back then to convince me that the earth is definitely not what they're telling us. This video right here is pretty comprehensive as far as refuting the globe model. No, it's not. There is an awful lot of water between west, south. You know what's funny is that he still, I don't even know, has he ever admitted how he was wrong in the last one about the 2 bases? Rothera getting the sun first in the west, and nobody in the entire earth has ever gotten a sunset in the west before the east. That'd be ludicrous, except for many, many places. Except for places in the United States. This guy doesn't get it. Too clueless, won't watch anybody else's show, won't listen to anybody tell him that he's wrong. So good for him. Be wrong. Oh, I saw my name in here somewhere. Sorry, Jaron. Sorry, Witsit. Bye-bye. I mean, these people are retarded. I absolutely have no love lost. So, Dick Wayne, you asked about, what? No, I don't have any love lost for people that are going to claim that I lied when I haven't lied for 10 years. And just because it doesn't match your worldview, call me a liar. No, I don't have any respect for those people. I don't respect Steve Falconer. I don't respect his little gay friend, Conspiracy Music Guru, either. So, or both their gay friends who they listen to, which is why they're in the situation that they're in, Dave Weiss. Dave Weiss is responsible for a majority of people being stuck in the flat earth because he lies to them and tells them things about whistleblowers telling him shit, and he's a liar. Okay? Always appreciate your info, Steve. Get in touch with you to discuss tissue salts. I don't know what the fuck that means. The video is rich in knowledge. No, it's not. Common sense. Is there anybody who's a glober? Did anybody watch this and actually comment, or am I the only one? Or is he deleting the comments? Steve, my man, brimming in full spectrum. We know it was a film production and everybody involved, it was a willing participant. I mean, look at these people. Again, here's the saddest thing. I'll keep bringing this up. Christians out there who are many of the flat earthers care so much about the flat earth, which isn't in the Bible. Let me remind you, the Bible doesn't say anywhere that the earth is flat, but they care so much about it, they've thrown out the rest of the Bible. They now judge people. They now curse at people. They now falsely accuse people. They now slander and lie and demean and demote and piss on and send death threats to. Fuck Christians. You understand me? Fuck them. You don't get to claim that you're a Christian and that you live like Jesus, and then when somebody goes down to Antarctica and tells you the truth, you call them a liar and a sellout and a fraud. Fuck you. Understand? Your Christianity has done nothing good for you. Nothing. You're not like the Bible at all. You don't act like Jesus at all. You're doing exactly what the Bible says not to. Do not get involved in vain controversies. Do not share the ear of a gossiper. That's all that flat earth has become. You know why I realized? This is what I realized the other day. The reason this has happened is because Christians always had to live moral lives in order to have a one-up on you. Because they couldn't otherwise. If they're not living a moral life, you're able to point out, hey, you're not being a Christian. So what they do is they've said, oh, the earth is flat according to our religion. They've adopted that, and now they can just be assholes because they have a knowledge that you don't, they think. You see what I'm saying? Like, they think that the earth is flat because the Bible says so, and they think that it's being lied to about because somebody's trying to get around the Bible. The sad thing is that they're wrong. So, and again, whoever wrote the Bible, which was not God, by the way, if you didn't realize that, but whoever wrote the Bible did probably write it as a flat earth book because that was the belief at the time. But it certainly was not made a point to be put in there. It's not like the earth is level, the earth is flat. No, it says the earth is, hangs on nothing. Well, that kind of sounds like a heliocentric idea. But again, I do see where it says, that the earth can't be moved. But I hate the people who act like they have to go by what the Bible says. The Bible says that the sun rules the day and the moon rules the night. Where does the Bible say that the moon is out during the day? It doesn't. That's weird because that sounds like it's wrong. But again, here's the problem with being a Christian. You're never wrong. So you just make up some story about, the way that they wrote it, whatever. But again, what about the flat earth? It doesn't even say it in the Bible. They've given up the rest of the rules. They've given up the rest of the commandments. They don't care. The commandment says, do not bear false witness. Look at all these people saying that I lied going on a trip that I didn't. So who's the better Christian? Me or you? Well, I'll tell you who's the better Christian, and I don't even claim it. But you guys walk around like you want some sort of pat on the back, like you're some sort of moral creatures, when go look at the comments on Robbie Davidson's posts or my posts on YouTube, on Facebook. The people who comment on there are all Christian, and they're all disgusting swine. Do you understand? Disgusting swine. So I have no love lost for people who went around for 10 years telling me how Christian they were and how good of people they are. And then when I got back from Antarctica and say, hey, I saw the 24-hour sun, they're like, liar, sellout, fraud. Wait, I thought you were looking for the truth. I thought we wanted to get to the truth. No, but I only want my truth. I want the truth that I decided that the Bible said. I decided what words are in there. I decided what the words mean. And I want the truth that matches what I've decided. Well, sorry. That's not how reality works. Reality works by I go down to the south and say, look at the sun circling my head. Okay, great. I took film of it. We checked it to make sure it wasn't reflection. We checked to make sure that it was upside down. Okay, we got all of our information. I come back and tell you, and you say, oh, Jaron, that goes against our worldview. We should relook at flat earth. Don't you think? Yep, I agree. That's how easy it should have been. Instead, you people have gone to disgusting levels and disgusting places. Just the most disgusting comments constantly. I mean, every day is 3, 4, 5, 6 people messaging me out of nowhere to tell me something gross and awful. It's awful. Awful people. Terrible human beings. I wouldn't do these things to my worst enemy. Just would never do it. Just would never do it. I did have somebody message me who said, oh, yeah, I want to talk to you about what you told a friend of mine. You told her that nobody would miss her if she died. Like, what? Like, yeah, you said to her in a message that nobody would miss her if she died. I'm like, doesn't sound like me. I'm like, but what did she say to me before that? He's like, I don't know. What did she say? I'm like, can you go find that out? He's like, what difference does it make? I said, because I would never say something like that unless what came at me before that was warranted of that. He's like, I'll check. I'll get back to you. So then he can get back to me. So I'm like, okay, bet you it was really bad. So I do find out, and I end up finding out what was said. And it was that the person said to me that I'm a sellout and they hope I die a quick death. And I said to them, yeah, go, you go ahead and die. Nobody will miss you when you're gone. And this guy's like messaging me to be, oh, you said something really rude to I'm like, did you check what was said to me before that? Of course. I don't just go around telling people that they're going to be not missed when they die, but I don't like to get messages from people calling me a sellout and saying that they hope for my quick demise either. So, hey, Steve, thanks for everything that you have blessed my ears with over the years. Truly appreciate it. I love that you have done 3 pieces in exposing the fraud of TFE. I have some experience understanding of the digital experiences and what can be done these days with blended reality. Right, that's what it was. It was blended reality down in Antarctica. The point that I will make is that in modern times, you can take some real base video footage and manipulate it, everything in that environment, and post video rendering. Right. Did you know we did things live? Retard. Hello, retard. Take a look at the shadows of the live streams and the shadows of the supposed... This is why I cannot argue against the moon landing anymore. Because this is so wrong. And it's the same kind of thing that I would see. Imagine if we're just talking about the move. So look at the moon streams and the shadows of the supposed evidence that came days later. The difference is natural shadows and blue shadows. The blue shadows are generated by a computer program that is calculating for a close circling fake sun. Oh my God, this is such a lie. And I bet you this guy's a Christian. Be whatever your name is. If you're a Christian, God, I really wish Christianity was true. I really do wish all these people threw away their what do you call it? I was going to say justification. What do you call it when you in Christianity you're being redeemed? You're being what is it called? Can't think of the name. Anyway, whether or not you get into heaven, it's I don't know the R word I'm looking for. Anyway, where are we reading? What about Admiral Byrd? He disclosed a lot of information, then pulled back out, and eventually he was shut up. Not true. Admiral Byrd wrote completely in his journals. You can find all his stuff that he wrote. You can see him on long jeans. He's never said anything other than he believes in the globe. So everything else is a lie. Thank you, Steve. Can't even imagine how long it took you to research all the information that was presented in this video. It's all wrong. He doesn't understand the globe. One of the most detailed videos I've seen in a long time. Very great works. You're a very thorough researcher, except for you can't figure out the globe. You're right. But this is just terrible. 3.5 hours of just garbage. Let's just randomly pick a spot and see what he's talking about. What garbage is here?
New Zealand on December 4th, the sun's rising and setting angles are relative to the sun's position at Lake Pukaki's solar noon, where people there point a compass to due north, and they'll know it's solar noon when the sun is directly between them and the North Pole on their compass.
No shit.
Needle. Those angles are not relative to Lake Pukaki's geographical location on the ground itself.
What?
It does not mean the visual sun was straight overhead Lake Pukaki at 90 degrees zenith on December 4th and literally came from the southeast below New Zealand's latitude line.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did, you fucking dumbass piece of shit garbage human.
And set southwest below New Zealand's latitude.
Yes, it does.
Line, as this blatant neurographic falsely misleads the unthinking person by design.
Wow.
I'll prove it.
Yeah, prove it.
December
Here he goes.
4th, the sun has not yet made its way down to the Tropic of Capricorn line 2 weeks later. It is still a little north of it, where the red zones are.
Right.
Here is Swakopmund, Namibia, just slightly south of where the sun should be crossing over directly overhead on December 4th at 22:40:35 south latitude. And sure enough, on December 4th, the solar noon azimuth is 0 north, just north of them barely, and the altitude for solar noon is 89.6 zenith, just slightly north of above their heads. Later that same
Wait, so what's the problem with that?
exact day, the sun passes just north of Rio de Janeiro at 22:54:35 south latitude. As you can see, December 4th, solar noon 0 degrees north of it at 89.4 degrees north of them.
Right.
Not quite zenith overhead. What happens in latitude stays in latitude. The sun cannot pass over Lake Pukaki way down here on December 4th, as this neurographic claims, and then
No, it doesn't claim that, dipshit. What are you talking about?
magically teleport north and pass over Australia, Swakopmund, and Rio later that same
You are so stupid it hurts.
exact.
You're drawing things, number one, on a flat map, a Mercator map of some type. This is not a globe. Get a globe. If you're going to debunk the globe, why don't you use a globe? Okay? Nobody's claiming. Are you saying that this picture of them showing New Zealand, where was that picture you just showed? This right here. Okay, so where does it say that the sun passes above? You mean this little yellow line? This is just where, this is not where the sun passes. The sun doesn't go down into the earth here. The sun doesn't come out of the ocean here. And the sun is not above the people's heads here. This is just a graphic. It's showing you the angle, if you have a 360 circle, where the sun rises and where it sets. This would be your zenith. Yes, it's north of you. But you're saying that somebody underneath this is underneath the sun? Wrong. It's a very localized thing. Steve, you're not this dumb.
Falsely misleads the
That's not misleading anybody.
unthinking person by design.
No.
I'll prove it. On December 4th,
You didn't
solar
prove
noon,
anything.
which is way up here in latitude where it has to be, nowhere near Lake Pukaki.
Nobody says this Lake Pukaki. See, he just goes off on things that are his own made up straw man. Nobody thinks that Lake Pukaki or anywhere in New Zealand has the sun above their head. Nobody.
The ground. Make note, December 4th, 5:50 a.m. sunrise, 1:29 p.m. solar noon, 9:09 p.m. sunset.
Okay.
Well, there's Lake Pukaki, New Zealand.
Okay, so nobody, if that's where Lake Pukaki is, then nobody has ever claimed that the sun is above its head. Nobody.
The sun is here
Right. That's where the sun would be because it doesn't go south of the Tropic of Capricorn.
at their 1:29 p.m. solar noon, and when the sun sets for them at 9:09 p.m. on December 4th, the sun is provably up here just north of
Yeah, no shit.
the Tropic of Capricorn and just east of Madagascar, nowhere near west-southwest of Lake Pukaki, New Zealand.
What are you talking about? Who thinks that the sun is above the head of Wake? Maybe I need to go back and watch what the hell he's talking about. Where are you coming up with this? You're making straw man arguments. Nobody. I'm going to try and rewind and see if I can find the first time he's talking about. Is it here? Let me see where this is. Where is he talking about this Lake Pukaki?
Opposite their north compass bearing and then look up 90 degrees because the sun is actually 30 odd miles south of them as it travels overhead. Not any further south than that as the cake.
You sound so dumb with the stupid laughs you keep doing, Steve. You sound so dumb. It's like really upsetting that I thought you were cool or something. You're
The heliocentric globe model
Garbage.
says the sun is allegedly 109 times larger. Thou shalt not make graven images. They do the same when they draw these cartoons, explaining why you can only see the top of a boat from a lighthouse point A to a boat at point D from 20 miles away due to the Earth's alleged curvature, and hope you're too stupid to notice they drew nearly 1/8 of the total alleged Earth curve in the 20 miles between the two objects, and drew the boat and lighthouse thousands of miles too tall to
It's not to scale, dipshit.
scale of the drawn curve between. We all see and experience the sun's rays as fanning out in a pyramid.
So do railroad tracks. Are those parallel, Steve, or are they also going to a point? Because those rays look like they're going to a point. I'll give you that. But so do railroad tracks.
Crepuscular like this from a local nearby light source. Never like this.
Well, that would be ridiculous. Why would it look like that? Do you not understand how perspective works?
From an alleged burning space fireball, allegedly 100.
So why don't railroad tracks just go off into the distance and not? Why do they converge? Why do they look like they go to a point? Why don't they look like this? They should just have railroad tracks going away from us, straight away from us.
9 times bigger than the Earth and 11,733 Earth diameters farther away from it. But since you can't have your cake and eat it too, you have to accept the sun's rays must be directly spread straight and evenly over the Earth from that alleged size and distance and not crepuscular.
So when we don't see any rays, do you realize that this is what the sun is doing? What do you mean? I don't know what the complaint is here. Again, I have
If
to
you
listen.
stick by your heliocentric globe model. even though reality shows once again otherwise.
No, this is a hole in the clouds. So the clouds are creating a light pattern coming through. And just like when we draw lines at the railroad tracks, they converge in the distance. That's all.
It is well known and verifiable in all almanacs that the visible light in the sky we call the sun loops between the ecliptic belt between the outer yellow Tropic of Capricorn on the December 21st winter solstice into the red equator on March 21st.
It's so funny because this guy is absolutely showing that the flat earth is impossible, has been debunked. He's verified all the times of the Antarctic bases all having 24-hour sun. He's basically he's like an insider. He's like working for us on their side or something.
First, the spring equinox, then into the summer orange Tropic of Cancer on the June 21st summer solstice, and then back out to the red equator on the September 21st.
So, Steve, why was I standing here and the sun going this direction around me? You're drawing this, saying that it get over here, bring sun over here to Australia, but I saw it for sure do this. How does this bring light to Australia? How does this bring light to Africa?
Fall equinox.
How?
And back out.
How does the sun make a U-turn and start going the other direction? How does the sun make a U-turn yet keep the same sunspots that it does when it's over here?
Out again, looping like clockwork.
Not like clockwork, because if it was like clockwork, you can't stand on the outside of a clock and the hands start going the opposite direction around you.
Out and in every year.
Wrong.
Let's simply verify this for this guy and the cake eaters in the comments section don't seem to get this fact. From wherever you are standing, your zenith is leaning back, cricking your neck, and looking directly above you at 90 degrees to see a heavenly luminary like the sun. Your altitude is what degree or angle between your horizon, 0 degrees straight across,
right,
and your zenith straight above your head. You see the heavenly luminary like the sun.
Yeah.
Your azimuth is just pointing your compass to the north, there, drawing 360 degrees in a circle around you,
right,
and seeing how many degrees clockwise around that circle the heavenly luminary you are looking at is relative to north.
Okay.
So from where this guy is standing, he is seeing the sun at 45 degrees altitude, halfway between looking straight up in the sky at his zenith directly above his head and looking straight out at his horizon across the flat ground. And his compass says north is there.
Okay.
So the sun is where the red arrow ends, 135 degrees east of north, clockwise, around the 360 degree circle around him.
Okay.
That's his azimuth. Pretty simple.
Yeah, simple. Why don't you figure this out?
So if the light we call the sun crosses over the Tropic of Capricorn on the December 21st winter solstice,
correct,
everyone living directly under it should have to lean back and crick their neck up to their 90 degree zenith to see the sun straight overhead at their solar noon.
Correct.
And the same with the people living on the Tropic of Cancer on their June 21st summer solstice, and the same with the people living on the equator
let's go, move along.
year on both March 21st and September 21st
yes, we got
equinoxes as the sun passes over them between the tropics.
You still haven't gotten to a problem yet.
So the Tropic of Capricorn is at 232609 south latitude, and here is Rubyvale, Australia at 232509 south latitude, just about 30 odd miles only north of the Tropic of Capricorn.
Okay.
And sure enough, on their December 21st winter solstice, at their solar noon there, you can see that the sun is at 90 degrees zenith right above their head, as it should be. And the reason the sun is at 180 degrees south azimuth is because they are 30 odd miles north of the Tropic of Capricorn.
Okay.
So they have to turn around and face 180 degrees opposite their north compass bearing and then look up 90 degrees because the sun is actually 30 odd miles south of them as it travels overhead. Not any further south than that, as the cake eaters claim, or the altitude would be less than 90 degrees zenith if they had to.
Nobody claims that. What is a cake eater? You're not claim. You're just a straw man king. Nobody has ever claimed that the sun is seen above the head of anybody south of the Tropic of Capricorn. Now, if you're standing looking west, the sun is going south. That's the way that's the direction of the Tropic of Capricorn. Steve, you are a dumb man.
To look out at a farther away angle than straight over their heads. The inner or northern Tropic of Cancer is at 232609 north.
I can't
latitude.
imagine. How does anybody listen to
Here.
this? I want to kill myself. You're not making any sense. Nothing that you've said has any problems with the globe. You're just laughing and joking and making sounds. Terrible garbage video. All right, I'm going to check if there's any super chats, and we will be back at 7:30. Here, we got a few of them. We got JSS Tiger says, imagine how sad Dirth would be to go to Antarctica, see himself on his app down there, and see the 24-hour sun. He needed to avoid that. That would be funny. Yeah, another one, $5, says, my surveying book says a level surface is a curved surface, and it even shows a diagram. Yes, but nobody else can figure that out. JSS Tiger, all right, you gave me all three. $20. Thank you very much. The Bible says Moses wrote Exodus. Moses existed before Pharaoh Ramses, and Moses refers to Egypt as the land of Ramses. Make sense? No. There's many things like that, but they'll make something up for you. Christians can do that. They haven't realized yet that if it's words on paper, anybody can make it say anything that they want. So doesn't seem like the best method for God to communicate with man would be, I'm going to write this in paper. And in the paper, I'm going to write, let God be true and every man be a liar. And let me think, who should I leave this with when I leave? That man over there. Man, will you please take this book? You wrote in the book, though, that I'm a liar. Well, yeah, you are. So, well, then people in the future shouldn't even read this, should they? Because I'm going to lie about it and rewrite it. Yeah, that's what I would think, too. Anyway, we are done. We'll be back at 7:30 for, and I'm going to look up what, please be a good one. Please, what did you guys decide? Please don't choose one I don't like. I just want to see what the poll came up with. All right. Oh, boy, it's close. Oh, that's fucking, you jerks. You said 37%. No, conspiracy query's terrible. No, I haven't named the show. You guys said none of the above. Factus didn't get anything. Fact Down is the winner. I like Fact Down the best. Fact Down was what I was going to go with. So for right now, it's Fact Down. Thursday night Fact Down. But I'm going to see if anybody's got any better ideas. Let me go to the bottom. In December, you can see the sun simultaneously from South Africa and Perth, Australia. When you're looking in a northerly direction in South Africa, you're looking southwest in Perth, matching a globe. What? You're looking in a northerly direction in South Africa. I don't know what you mean by that, but anyway. You mean from way down in the south or something? Hey, DVIDs, thank you for the gift membership. Or for somebody you gave away. Thank you, JSS Tiger. Yeah, nobody donates anymore. It's okay. We got it. We are looking for jobs. We're figuring it out. We are going to be fine. Have you named your trivia show? No, I have not. Who claimed that? Nobody. Nobody. I mean, this guy's just making shit up. It's upsetting me too because it's like we don't even have to talk about it because all he's doing is just getting more people that are already stuck there stuck, and nobody who believes in the globe is going to be swayed by that video. So Thursday night Fact Down, keep it simple, stupid. I agree. Thursday night Fact Down, I do like that. And then we could have the Fact Down World Champion, right? I like that. I think we're going with that. Unless anybody's got anything they want to write in the next 5 minutes. He can't even say the name of the lake. I don't even know it either, but it's just a terrible video. I hope that there's some other globe earthers going after it because I feel like there's nobody in the comments, and I don't know why my comment's still there if he's deleting everybody else's. It almost is like there is no Glober comments on there. Maybe I just haven't watched it yet. But it's such an awful video. 3.5 hours of just him not understanding anything. Pretty rough. Is the moon upside down in Antarctica? 100%. 100%. And the moon is also goes down the same. We've been talking a lot about the sun. Make sure you guys know the moon does the same. If you're in the north, every time you watch the moon rise, so you're looking east, the moon rises left to right. Okay? If you turn and watch the moon set every single day, every single time in the north, the sun will diagonally set when looking west, left to right. Now, go past the equator, south, and everything flips. Now, all of a sudden, when you watch the moon rise in the east, it rises right to left. And when you watch it set by looking west, it sets right to left. That is, of course, what's called a paradox, because on a flat Earth, it means that a sun going in one direction is seen by two different people looking in the same directions as going in opposite directions. The reason that made no sense what I just said is it's a paradox. What I just described cannot take place in reality. It's the law of non-contradiction, really. If the sun goes one direction, then two people facing the same direction would see it go in that same direction. But yet, have somebody in the north watch the moon set and have somebody in the south watch the same moon set. For one of them, it will be going right. For the other one, it will be going left. That is a paradox. It is impossible. It doesn't happen. All right. I think that I'm going to go with Fact Down. It's coming at 7:30. We're going to have a winner. We're going to have basically, I'll have the super chats open, and then 50% of the super chats will go to the next week. And then at the end of the show, we're going to spin a wheel. It's got 6 slots on it. First place winner, second place winner, third place winner, and carryover. We'll spin that wheel, see who wins. So you don't have to come in first. You have to come in first, second, or third. You get put on the wheel. We spin the wheel. Either somebody's going to win or it's going to move to the next week. But whoever actually gets first place will go on to the tournament finals. Not who wins the spin. The spin is for the prizes or to carry over. But the first place winner will get to move on to the finals round. Bracketology, March Madness, only not in March. Okay. All right. Much love to you guys. See you at 7:30. That's about 2 hours from now. I got to set up that show. Put the questions in. We got some good ones tonight. It'll be 33 questions. We're going to try and move through it pretty fast. Should be fun. See you at 7. Did I say 7:30 or 7? We'll start at 7. I think we should be ready at 7. And then the trivia will start at 7:30. See you then. It will be brought to you by, I should say who it's brought to you by. I can't remember the name of them. It's brought to you by, oh my goodness. Way to go, Jaron. Luckily, this isn't the trivia show. They'd probably fire me already. Now, I reached out to the people who make the trivia to ask them about the people saying that their answers were wrong. So we started talking about that. And then I just mentioned, hey, I'm going to do a trivia show weekly. If you want me to say that you support it or you want me to highlight it, put your name and link in the chat, then maybe you can give me a deal on this thing that I pay for. And maybe they work something out. So it is called Live Reacting Studio. There you go. You can just type in livereacting.com. But if you want to use my link, I think it's just, I want to try this. I think it's just livedirecting.com, livereacting.com/Jeranism, I think. So correct. Let me try that. I don't remember if they gave me that one or not. No, they didn't. I have to go to my Impact. Let me check real quick. So I can have this. Impact is the name of the affiliate. Impact. Don't send me a text message. I don't want it. Don't do it. Don't send me any text messages. I just want to give you the link so that you can start using this if you want in your channels. It's fun. Don't send me a link. Don't send me a number. Unbelievable. Of course. I got a text or something. 809. Okay, we got that. Boom. Not now. Oops. Oh, thank God that saved it for me. It would have been a funny text if not. All right, so we got... sorry, I want to get this link for you. Where is it? Live Reacting. I thought it was... Oh, that's way different than I thought. livereacting.sjv.ia.Jeranism. Okay. Whatever. This is the right link there. I want to see if it takes me somewhere. Is that a clickable link? No, huh? Didn't go through to me. Go this one. Oh, see there. Try that one. There we go. Sweet. Okay, that does work. There you go. There's the link if you want to use it. But anyway, thank you to Live Reacting for providing me with a few months of a free account so that I can not have to pay the money for this account. But it's nice. I like the deals that were with the paid account, and I need them for the show. So anyway, that will be at 7. I'll be back at 7 with you. Join the show. I believe it's only 150 people. So the first 150 in the chat are the only ones you actually get to participate. So be there on time, be ready, and we'll see you very shortly. All right. We will talk to you in a few moments, 7 o'clock. See you then. I remind you, please do your own research. Wait. I don't know if I want to say that. Yes. Do I want to get anything else? Yes. I think we're good. Oh boy. All right. I think that's everything. Got that. Please go to my store, shop.jeranism.com. Get some moringa. That is now moving much slower. You can also get Kachava in the chat there. You'll notice I'm drinking my Kachava. It is, it's what gave me all these big muscles and stuff. Anyway, Kachava, it's in the description. You can get $15 off with that link and start losing some weight. Get in shape. Go for a run. I put a pull-up bar in my garage day before yesterday. Or was it yesterday? So that's been fun. With rings, and I've learned that I'm not quite ready to get on the rings yet, but I'll take some time. A little bit at a time. Baby steps. All right, guys. See you at 7. Should be fun for the first episode of Thursday Night Fact Down. Till next time. This has been Jeranism. Do I have a song for you? Let's listen to some Moon intro. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.
If we went way back in 69, if that was real and y'all ain't lying, then NASA put a man back on the moon. Always over budget and always way behind. You need 5 more years and another $1 billion dimes. And you promise to put a man back on the moon. If y'all pass the belts and that's the truth, then load the rocket and show us all the proof. Hey NASA, put a man back on the moon. Yo, they went in 69 with tech that's dead and gone. Brain code off punch cards, now we're swiping on our phones, but no boot since that's half a century past. Who would have thought that one small step could be the last? And burn the blueprints. Come on, stop with the cap. You don't lose how to do the moon, bruh, that's a trap. Artemis is late, constellation got trash. Starship keeps exploding, SLS burns cash. Promise moon by 2020, got delay after lie. You went from world's greatest feat to our rockets hardly fly. So it wasn't Neil made it through the Van Allen zone and get your ass back out there. Stop hiding that way back at 69. If that was real and y'all ain't lying, then NASA put a man back on the moon. Always over budget and always way behind. You need 5 more years and another $1 billion dimes. And you promise to put a man back on the moon. If y'all pass the belts and that's the truth, then load the rocket and show us all the proof. Hey NASA, put a man back on the moon. Yo, Bershit crashed, Vikram crashed, Russia's Luna 25 straight lunar trash. Peregrine dead, constellation gone. Blue Origin is a carnival ride. Stop me if I'm wrong. You had the crown, now you stalling like a clown. Got SpaceX gambling while your budget bleeds out, saying soon we'll land. Yeah, I heard that too. Back in 2004 from freaking George W. 50 years of maybe billions blown on plans, but not one damn boot in that lunar sand. So if the science is settled and y'all really went, then do it again. Stop paying rent to pretend. If we went way back at 69, if that was real and y'all ain't lying, then NASA put a man back on the moon. Always over budget and always way behind. You need 5 more years and another $1 billion dimes. And you promise to put a man back on the moon. If y'all pass the belts and that's the truth, then load the rocket and show us all the proof. Hey NASA, put a man back on the moon. They said we went in 69 with no computers, but now we got AI, GPS, touchscreen cockpits.
and they still can't land a fucking robot without blowing it to pieces. Something don't add up, homie.
They say the moon's too far, like that line just sells. But they sent a car to Mars, man, what the hell? You filming high res on a 1 billion mile probe, but your moon feed in 69 look like a strobe. Look, if a see-through buzz and Neil got their curtain rosin string, then fire it up again and do the damn thing. Don't show me cartoons, don't bring me delays, don't spin me dreams with the Artemis phase. We seen all the lollygag wasting our greens, some even ask if our green is paying green screen. Just stop with the talk, the gas and the lies, either put up a flag or kiss the past goodbye. If you did it back then, and that's really the truth, then strap in tight, shut the fuck up and show us the proof. The longer you wait, the more obvious it gets. As things become late, there's no more bets. The one question left is, did you put a man back on the moon? If we went way back in 69, if that was real and y'all ain't lying, then NASA put a man back on the moon. Always over budget and always way behind. You need 5 more years and another 1 billion dimes, and you promise to put a man back on the moon. If y'all pass the belts and that's the truth, then load the rocket and show us all the proof. Hey NASA, put a man back on the moon. Put a man back on the moon. If I were you, I'd put a